Next is Riemannian-Christoffel tensor or Riemannian-Christoffel curvature tensor. We know that the ordinary derivatives with respect to coordinate is commutative. That is, dou square a by dou x alpha dou x beta is same as dou square a by dou x beta dou x alpha. So the order of taking derivatives is not important. You can first take derivative with respect to alpha, then beta, or you can take derivative first with respect to beta and then with respect to alpha. However, the covariant differentiation of tensor is not generally commutative. It means a alpha, the semicolon means the covariant derivative. A alpha beta gamma is not equal to a alpha gamma beta. So when you calculate the difference of these two covariant derivatives, that is a alpha semicolon beta semicolon gamma minus a alpha semicolon gamma semicolon beta is equal to a mu into r mu alpha beta gamma, where this you can calculate this covariant derivative, then you can find this one, and then you just subtract these two covariant derivatives, and you can take an a mu common. The remaining terms will be gamma mu alpha gamma beta, gamma mu alpha beta comma gamma, gamma nu alpha gamma, gamma nu beta minus gamma nu alpha beta, gamma mu nu gamma, and these terms collectively called as the Christoffel tensor or curvature tensor. That is R mu alpha beta gamma is known as the Riemannian-Christoffel tensor or curvature tensor. It is defined in terms of the Christoffel symbol. Okay, gamma mu alpha gamma is the Christoffel symbol. But remember, Christoffel symbols of the first kind and second kinds are not tensors. But here you are making an expression making use of the Christoffel symbol of the second kind. What you are getting is a tensor. So in equation number 1, this particular equation, we know that the covariant derivative is a tensor quantity. So here you have two covariant derivatives. When you are taking the difference of these two covariant tensors, since both are tensors of the same rank, you will get a tensor in the left hand side of this particular equation, and in the right hand side, of course, a mu is a tensor. It is a covariant tensor of rank 1. But we have no idea about this particular quantity. But according to quotient law, when you multiply a quantity with an arbitrary tensor, if you are getting a tensor, that quantity will be a tensor. So here, when you are multiplying a tensor with r, what you are getting is a tensor. So this particular quantity will be a tensor according to the quotient law. So r mu alpha beta gamma is a tensor, and it is called the Riemannian-Christoffel tensor or curvature tensor. Now to get the covariant curvature tensor, here you can see that there are three covariant indices and one contravariant index. To get a fully covariant tensor, what you have to do is you have to lower this particular index. For that, you have to multiply this tensor with the metric tensor g mu rho. Since you want to lower this particular index, that is r mu alpha beta gamma, you have to multiply it with g mu into some new letter rho. If you want to lower the index some alpha beta gamma rho, you have to multiply it with some alpha sigma. Okay, so when you multiply it with g mu rho, what you are getting is g mu rho into r mu alpha beta gamma. So this particular index become lowered. So what you have to replace it with the letter rho. Here mu is common. So what you are getting is r rho alpha beta gamma. Now this is a fully covariant tensor. So it is a covariant curvature tensor, and it has the property, this covariant curvature tensor is symmetric in the interchange of two index pairs. For example, if I am considering the first pair as rho alpha and the second pair as beta gamma, then r rho alpha beta gamma will be same as, you just exchange these two pairs, that is r beta gamma rho alpha. Then with the help of these Christoffel tensor, we can define another tensor called Ricci tensor. That is R mu alpha beta gamma. That is the Christoffel curvature tensor. It can be contracted by the last index. Contraction means you have to set one covariant index and one contravariant index same. So here we can say we can contract it with mu and alpha or mu and beta or mu and gamma. I am going to contract mu and gamma. So I am setting mu equal to gamma equal to some rho. Then I can return it as R rho alpha beta rho. So when you are taking components, these two components will be cancelled. So what we are getting is R alpha beta. So you are getting a second rank covariant tensor, and this tensor is called, that is R alpha beta, is called Ricci tensor. The explicit form of this Ricci tensor is R alpha beta equal to gamma mu alpha mu beta, gamma minus gamma mu alpha mu beta plus gamma mu alpha mu gamma mu beta minus gamma mu alpha beta gamma mu mu. You just when we are obtaining the field equation, we will make use of this particular Ricci tensor. Especially at that time we will set a coordinate where these last two terms will be cancelled. We will have only the first two terms. Okay. Now we have already seen that for the covariant curvature tensor, that is R rho alpha beta gamma, it is symmetric with respect to the pair of integers. So R rho alpha beta gamma is equal to R beta gamma rho alpha. Now you just multiply it with some G rho gamma. So when you multiply it with some G rho gamma, the first term will be G rho gamma into R rho alpha beta gamma. So these two terms will be cancelled. What you are getting is R alpha beta. Similarly, when you multiply this term with G rho gamma, these two terms, that is rho and gamma, this term will be cancelled. Remaining will be beta alpha. So R beta alpha will be equal to R alpha beta. That is Ricci tensor is symmetric in its two integers. Also in 4 dimension it will have 4 square equal to 16 components. Since Ricci tensor is a second rank tensor, it will have 4 square equal to 16 components in 4 dimensions. But we have seen that the Ricci tensor is symmetric, and symmetric means this particular tensor it has 16 components, so you can represent it as a 4 by 4 matrix. That is there will be 4 rows and 4 columns. Since it is symmetric, these terms will be same as these terms. So it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10 independent components. So in 4 dimension, since Ricci tensor is symmetric, it will have only 10 independent components. Also we can contract this Ricci tensor R alpha beta again by simply multiplying it with some G alpha beta. So when you multiply these two, this particular tensor becomes R, that is a scalar, where R is called Ricci scalar or scalar curvature or total curvature. Okay, thank you.